Um, I want to make this press statement simply because I think this examination in chief is going to go quite lengthy. We are hardly halfway from the statement that has been recorded. It's about 600 odd paragraphs. We are just about 300 paragraphs. So because it is going to be a long way, that's number one. Number two, because the judge is not going to make the decision about hearsay evidence now. So as a result, members of the press, you guys, are not guided what is in fact admissible evidence, what is not admissible. So as a result of which, we can't blame you. You got to publish everything, including junks that come out from this witness that are most probably hearsay evidence. Like for instance, you will note this witness have said over and over, almost every paragraph, whenever there is something that has gone wrong, he says, I heard this from Jolo. I took instruction from Jolo, and Jolo said this, Jolo said that. All this in our submission yesterday, as you already heard, are all inadmissible. If they are inadmissible, what so far the press has been reporting about our client is off. Because as I've explained to you and to the court, what hearsay and the reason why hearsay excluded is because when you say somebody said this, you're not responsible. It is not on oath, because that person is not in court to be tested whether he in fact said that or whether he said the truth. We're talking about Jolo, okay? He's not in court to be tested. So I want to appeal to you to use some sense of fair judgment when you report. You have to report both sides of the story, because that is what he claimed Jolo said. It's very important. And this is not tested in terms of truth, if at all even it is allowed to come in. It is not tested and it will remain untested. And secondly, I have said, if the authorities are saying, the IGP said it, the Prime Minister said it, and Deputy Prime Minister said it, and they say this, that Jolo is within weeks, they would have got him arrested. They know precisely where it is. Now, if they do that, and today I heard the IGP said by year end they'll bring him. But by year end, the trial is over. At least from the prosecution angle, the trial is over. So why do that? We are saying you should bring in Jolo, because if you want to be fair about this trial, we want to know from Jolo what exactly transpired. There's so many documents that one can confront this witness as well as Jolo as to whether or not Najib is implicated in the conspiracy to actually defraud one MD. Yeah. Now you will notice that some of these documents, even this witness cannot go that far. He could not say that he was instructed by the Tan Sri Najib. All the time he said, I was not instructed, but I think what Jolo told me about him is true. He repeated it, I counted 76 times. He never got it directly from Tan Sri Najib. Okay? Now, the other thing I want to appeal to you is the third thing, very important. You must get this right. The reason why TIA became one MDB is because the young Deputy Tuan Agong, who's also the Sultan of Terengganu, was upset with the way TIA was being run. He was upset because the state sovereignty fund, which is actually the oil, was being put to risk because there were no proper management layout. There were no safeguards that has been put in place. There was not enough representation from Terengganu, either MB Inc. or from the young Deputy Tuan Agong, from the state. There was not enough representation. these are some of the elements. He was upset, and he said, stop that Islamic bond. Stop it by way of suspending it. He didn't say, I don't want to do it at all, but he said, suspend it before we get any further, because the state of Terengganu was getting exposed. Now that's critical, because he was not angry with Datuk Sri Najib. He was angry with those people in TIA. Okay? Now, Datuk Sri Najib had been advised that the bond had been issued. Nothing less than M Invest, which is MBank. You see, you can't recall it. You can't even suspend it because the bond has been issued. And that is the reason why when Datuk Sri Najib was advised, you can't suspend or recall the bond, because the entire Malaysian reputation in terms of bond and financial credibility and your rating in the international market is going to go down the drain. It is for that reason Datuk Sri Najib said, we will proceed, but I will speak to the Yang Bertolak and I will explain to him what is the impact if you suspend. The murka bit is not murka with Datuk Sri Najib. You must remember that. And the murka bit is also not the way it has been reported, perhaps wrongly, maybe some members of the press misheard it. It is not that Datuk Sri Najib, in the face of the Yang Bertolak being very angry, he did not say, I don't care, but I'm going to go ahead. The reason behind it must be reported is because if the bond is suspended, we suffer bigger problem than what it already was. Okay? These are the three elements I want to project clearly to you, so that when you do the reporting, bear this in mind at the back of it. Now, the last point I want to say is this. You remember Amhari, when he gave his statement over 7 days, it was damning on my client. It was terrible. Right? Now I can comment because he has finished. But after I cross-examined him, you realize how implicated he was with Jolo. Took 840 million US. He took another 200 million US. He took all the handphones that Jolo was giving him, changed to every new model that he got. He attended with Jolo at Jolo's apartment, treating that as the office. Meeting Jolo, according to him, with Azlin in a hotel of all places called Prince Hotel, which is pretty seedy for him to have a meeting. You are from the PMO, and the meeting was held there, and they were taking instruction from Jolo. And you notice he also say every single document had instruction of Jolo, he destroyed it. Now, at the end of the cross-examination, the picture that Amhari presented over 7 days of examination in chief was totally reversed. So I ask you to suspend your opinion and your adverse reporting in relation to my client vis-a-vis this current witness, because this current witness has given statement without being tested. Cross-examination is the only way to test. Yeah? The British system, which is our system, the Anglo-American system, the genius, I've said yesterday, the genius of that system is the invention of cross-examination. No other system have got it. Namely, if you say the truth or if you say a lie, I can uncover it by the cross-examination. So only after cross-examination, you will see whether this witness is in fact telling the truth or not. One question I want to pose to you, without making comment, because he has not been cross-examined. I don't want to go into contempt, because as many people have said, the Attorney General seems to like my client's Facebook. He seems to go into my client's Facebook and look for excuses to go for my client on contempt. Now I realize that the Attorney General has got a contempt of his own that he's got to face with. Now, the point that I want to make is, you notice this witness is not a simple witness. Highly trained, an engineer, trained nothing less than from Stanford. Stanford is equivalent to Harvard in terms of ranking. the best elite university in the US. An engineer who has worked with corporations, and yet he said most of the letters that he signed is drafted by somebody else. When we cross-examine, we will tell you how much he received in terms of salary. You probably fall off your chair. Now, for a CEO, if you are going to say that I only listen to Jolo, I take instruction from Jolo, I could not have a direct access to the Prime Minister, who is your immediate boss, who is, you claim, the Board of Advisor Chairman. And who meets the Board of Advisor, the Chairman? Not even the board. It is he alone meet. So, in the face of that, I want you to bear in mind, can his statement be believed that I don't have access to the Prime Minister? When it is he alone who records the meeting, it is he and the Prime Minister. He can have as many meetings as he wants under the excuse of having a meeting with the Board of Advisors. Okay? But there's a lot more story I want to tell you about the 117. You have heard of it in the SRC, how 117 operate. Amhari agreed. Most of the witnesses agreed under 117, including the bankers. We will confront him with this because his interpretation of 117 is, I would say, completely childish because got nothing. He said, Board of Directors cannot control the company. Then who else control the company? It is the Board of Directors who run any company in the world. The Board of Advisor has got a specific function specified in the 117, which we will bring it about when we cross-examine. Okay? Any question?